So, so self-care and really, it has to fall into the to-do list of like must do, right? Like the way that you brush your teeth is a must do. You must brush your teeth every day, twice a day, right? Any other thing that you do, you're eating. So you must eat, right? You must drink water. Like there are basic things that you do. So the best suggestion and advice that I have for anything when you're trying to not let it fall to the bottom and you're really trying to keep it on your radar is to link it to something you're already doing and to tell yourself in your mind self-care is not an option. Self-care is not optional, right? Self-care is mandatory. And we could argue that brushing your teeth is a form of self-care, right? I mean, you're taking care of your teeth. Does that mean that it's self-care? Yeah, I would call it like the bottom rung of self-care. It's like in the survival category, well, maybe one step above survival category. But we're talking about things like um, really taking care of yourself on the job. Because when we don't take care of ourselves on the job as a parent, we end up feeling like we have to take a huge vacation to Hawaii and run away from the kids so that we can nourish ourselves, which may or may not happen. You may have a big trip to Hawaii, looming in your future. Great, that's wonderful. But what happens, or a pedicure, or, like something that's like escaping and nourishing. But what happens when parents think of that as the self-care that they need, what happens is that they end up not really learning how to do it on the job, and they look forward to it so much, and then they come back and they're actually more resentful because they want more of what they had, and they're not really doing something that is restorative in the moment. So there's off the job self-care. I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying that's not the only form of self-care, and that most parents think that's the only form of self-care. So I want to move from that like escape, replenish, self-care version, and also moms tend to overdo it, or parents tend to overdo it when they go away, like the mom's night out. Like I've seen some moms put away some drinks at mom's night outs, because they're like, oh, this is my night away from the kids, I get to drink. And then they wake up the next morning, they feel totally hungover and crappy, and they're even more edgy than before, and they blame their kids for making them edgy and irritable, when in fact it's because they overdid it because they're so desperate to get away. So it's a bad cycle there. It's not a good cycle. So instead, what I want to focus on is how to take care of yourself on the job. So when you go to take care of yourself off the job, when you go to a movie by yourself or you go out with friends by yourself, you do step away from the family, you don't feel the need, you're not so depleted that you feel the need to overdo it. And the way to do that is when you are on the job, you have to find little ways, and this gets back to what I was talking about, linking it to other things. So the way to handle it is that when you are, or my favorite way to handle it, I'll say, is find something that's really nourishing for you. Maybe it's that energy bubble exercise we just did. Maybe it's a 4x4x8 breath. Maybe it's a belly breath. Maybe it's a 2-minute, body scan, or a 1-minute body scan, something that is tuning you into yourself so that you are restoring yourself. Maybe it's prayer, right? Maybe it's, looking at yourself in the mirror and giving some self-talk, right? I can't name for you which one of those things works like, magic for you, and magic in the sense that like it makes you feel good. Like it like hands down, it will calm you down and make you feel good. For me, it was always 4x4x8 breath. I relied on that every day, right? So hand on my heart, and I would do my 4x4x8 breathing, like 30 seconds. The trick to have it not fall off your radar, or the bottom of your to-do, it's not a to-do, it's a must-do. Your to-do list has 2 categories, must-do and want-to-do, right? That's how we always are triaging it. And this is just one of those things like sleeping, eating, brushing teeth. This just can't fall off the radar. 30 seconds every time you brush your teeth. So that's twice a day right there. Every time you eat, that should be at least 3 times. So that's already 5 times that you would be doing your breathing in a day, right? I don't care that it's only 30 seconds each time, but it's like the treating with my dog, right? It's like multiple times throughout the day. Self-care isn't something that it's not like one and done. It's not like, oh, I got check that box. I did my self-care, got my nails done, right? It's not like that, especially when you are in the throes of intense parenting these years, or you're intensely postpartum, right? It has everything to do with nourishing yourself bit by bit throughout the day so that you're getting through the day not feeling depleted by the end of the day. That's where it comes in. So I want you to think about how you're going to link. Well, I've already given you that idea. I want you to think of the thing you're going to do at each of those moments throughout your day. So we're looking at the thing you're going to do, and I want it to just be your go-to. I don't want you to spend time, should I do this breathing exercise? Should I do that breathing exercise? Should I do a prayer? Or should I pick one thing? So what is it right now? What's the thing that you know, hands down, every time you do it, it makes you feel, it's soothing to you. It's soothing to your nervous system. It's like a chiropractic adjustment, like you get a click and you're like, yes, I feel aligned now. What's your thing? What's your go-to thing? I'm asking you, I do not have the answer for you. Yes, I know, that's exactly how you feel. I know, that's why I'm here, I know. Okay, pick your thing. And then you're gonna do it. Every time you brush your teeth, so that's at least twice a day. Maybe you're one of those like A+ brushers and you brush at lunch. That would be 3 times a day. I always admire those people who they whip out their toothbrush at the workplace and they're like, spitting in the corporate sink bathroom. And I'm like, that's awesome that you like prioritize your teeth, that you're brushing and flossing after lunch. That's badass, like badass self-care right there, in my opinion. Travel toothbrush, like why don't we all do that? I don't know why I don't do that. Anyway. So you're going to link it to your toothbrushing and to your eating. I think that's enough for now. And I want to see how that works for you. And if we need to up it, then we will. We would up it to how often you're having a drink of water. That would be the next stage. But don't do that yet. Just do toothbrushing and eating. Can you do that? What's your thing? What's your thing you're going to do? I'm going to move on to Anne's question. But I need to know what your thing is that you're going to do. Please.